It's the Hello Aviators Podcast.
What does that mean?
Aviation, piloting, aeronautics, flying, everything. Hello Aviators. All right, Hello Aviators. This is episode 1 of the Hello Aviators Podcast. Welcome, the one and only, my first flight instructor, Bailey Hill.
Da, 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 da.
How are you doing?
I'm fantastic.
You're doing good? Thank you for coming out. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you. This is super fun.
Is this fun?
Yeah.
Okay, what if I told you, legit, this is my first time doing this?
I'm shocked.
Yeah. I'm always thinking ahead.
Yeah.
Thinking ahead of the airplane. Yeah.
That's the
Yeah. Speaking of thinking ahead. Oh, wait. So, yeah, speaking of thinking ahead of the airplane, here, check this out.
Oh, yeah.
I got you something, too.
Did you? For yelling at you all the time?
Yes, there it is.
Can I open this now?
Of course.
Happy Easter!
Yeah,
Because it's also
you
Easter.
might miss Easter. Also, I don't know when your birthday is, but we're always thinking ahead, okay? So happy early birthday, happy early Easter.
Well, yeah, you're thinking way ahead because it's not until September. So this is
Oh, that's perfect.
killer.
So you're killing it.
Can I
6
read this
months.
out loud or no?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care.
Okay. Life is an adventure. Enjoy the ride. Love it. It's fun to imagine where this year could take you and think of the dreams that could maybe come true, Sensei. What a nerd.
Yeah.
Just so the audience is aware, he put in asterisks, like salute emoji next to it, which is his key thing when texting.
Always.
Oh my God. Thank you for being the best at CFI. I don't think anyone else might top you. Thank you for teaching me how to fly and also not to die. LOL. That is a really good skill set.
That's mandatory, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's very mandatory.
Yeah, I don't know. I think most people would like to know not to die. I can officially confirm you are the one who helped me start my aviation journey. Don't worry, when I become famous, I'll shout you out. Good luck on your future Air Force career, loser. Make sure you remain badass and fly them C-130s. And then I also have to build this airplane, which this is pretty sick. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I know. I actually was kind of jealous.
Oh my God. So I wish you all kinds of amazing adventures and a whole year of happy, especially for you. Happy birthday. I'm always thinking ahead of the airplane. So yes, happy early birthday and happy early Easter. Isaac Kala.
Word, dog.
Wow. Sir Soloist.
Yeah, that's legit what you called me on top of the video.
I love it.
Yeah.
And it also says favorite student, which, sorry, everybody else, it's true.
Ooh, jeez. Yeah, can't be like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
No other students that are listening, just
shh.
Yeah.
Shh. It's fine. There's more in the bag.
Oh, there is?
There is more in the bag.
Oh, duh.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a card.
Yeah, I'm going to put a whole card in a bag.
I'm a dum-dum.
But it's
fine.
okay. You may or may not already have this, but I just want to, make sure that you're prepared.
I'm
okay?
task saturated right now.
Yeah, you are. It's fine.
Oh, is this like a little officer starter pack?
It is an officer starter pack.
I don't have. Oh my God, this is so sweet. Oh, this is got name tapes.
Got name tapes already.
That is so sweet.
You should just
Thank
legit
you so
show
much.
up, put it on already.
We're supposed to show up in like polos and like little business trousers with our tennies on. I'm just gonna like sew it to my polo.
So there it is. Your little starter kit, okay? Of course.
Super sweet.
It's okay. Thank you for this too, by the way.
I feel bad now I only got you a patch.
It's okay. I don't care. I'm gonna wear this. I'm putting on my flight suit. No, I don't even know where to.
OCPs right off the
right
front.
over here. No, I'm gonna put this on top of my shoulder, just right here, and then walk around. Just take off my little work patch and just slap this on. Yeah. Be like
ADL.
What is
check
this?
This.
Yeah, check this.
Pilot.
This is better. Okay.
Yeah. Plus, it's more colorful, so it's better.
Thank you for the gift. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, of course.
Wow.
Well, everyone has been dying.
Yes.
When I mean everyone, I'm talking about like my friends.
Oh.
More importantly, my mom. Right. They want to know who you are.
Oh.
Yes. So please go ahead and introduce yourself.
The mysterious figure.
The mysterious figure.
Airplane.
They're like, okay, my son is literally riding in this airplane with this random person. Like, who is it?
I'm qualified, I promise.
I promise I'm qualified.
I promise. No, just some rando stranger.
Yeah.
Here we go, Isaac.
Here we go. Let's jump in the plane.
I am Bailey Hill, originally from Wisconsin. I am a certified flight instructor, also CFII, which means I can teach instrument students. And I was actually up until about a week ago, I was the assistant chief flight instructor out here at Kadena Aero Club on Okinawa, Japan.
On Okinawa, Japan. International. That's international. Whoa. Okay. Wow.
I don't know. Big deal. It's fine.
So what got you into flying? I think you told me this before, but
yes.
Yeah, what got you in this? What really got you into flying?
So this was kind of a roundabout story into aviation. Like some people, there's kind of like two career like feeders in aviation. Either people grow up wanting to be a pilot and that is like what they pursue from start to finish. They go into it right after high school or what have you, right? And then there's the other people who usually have aviation as a second career. They hated their first job, or maybe not hated, but they weren't like super fulfilled and they loved maybe flying as a hobbyist, or it was always a dream of theirs. And they decided, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it. And then you have those other people who are, you know, on that side of the spectrum, you're probably, I don't know, mid-20s all the way up to maybe 50 years old or so that are coming into it as a second career. So this was kind of my second career.
That's me. I'm mid-20s.
You're not mid-20s. 20, what? What are you at?
I'm 25.
Are you really?
Yeah. So I am mid-20s.
Wow. I thought you were like 23.
This is about to become my second career.
Oh.
That's probably me right there.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because now you're going into it like with a more solid foundation. You already know what's out there, right? Anyways, back to my story. So
I didn't mean to cut you off, but back to my story. Roll her back.
Where's the checklist? I grew up in a flying family. So my dad is a pilot. My grandfather was a pilot, and my cousin is kind of a little wacky old pilot too. He does a little wild things on YouTube. But anyhow.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, he's a little out there.
A little wacky on YouTube?
He does some really cool stuff. However,
you're going to have to send me the link after this.
Sure, the FAA is probably like, oh.
They're like...
Safety first. Yeah. Or third. But anyhow, I grew up in a flying family. I loved it. It was super fun. But it was always a hobby to the rest of my family, too. It was never like, hey, this is our main time career. So they did a lot of like tailwheel, kind of backcountry flying, maybe a little bit more on the sketchier side. And it was super fun. I was always like the passenger, or my dad taught me how to fly when I was really young. And I ended up going to university for graphic design and communications because my dad wanted me to go into the airlines. He was a rancher and he was, self-employed his whole entire life. So I'm sure that's probably what he would have wanted to do as well.
Is he just a private pilot?
He's just a private pilot, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I've tried to give him his instrument rating like numerous times, but he's not a very good studier. So, yeah, gets distracted very easily.
That's funny.
Yeah. So anyways, second career, kind of did a roundabout thing. And the reason why I had switched careers is I worked as a graphic designer, ski photographer, kind of a communications person, right? And I was redesigning newspapers and magazines, working for a designing firm, and I really did truly love it. But it was, number one, like a super competitive industry, but kind of vague as like how you can move up, because it's like you got to expand your creativity, which is, they don't like give you set steps to do that. they just expect you. Yeah, they're just like, you should be like doing things wildly right now. But it's not really my thing. I'm very like a modular kind of graphic designer. I'm not an illustrator or anything like that. But I truly loved my job. The reason why I switched was I specialized in the print industry, hated website design. And as we know, the print industry is probably not going to be around much longer.
It's kind of phasing out.
Yeah. So like all these other like little mom and pa's that I wanted to work with, they all started going out of business because little towns can't really keep up their newspapers much longer.
Yeah.
And I was trying to think ahead, like, okay, I'm probably not going to be doing this for the rest of my life. So let me figure out a way to pivot, essentially. And at this point, I was like, oh, aviation isn't just the airlines. It's aero medevac. There's aerial firefighting. There's flying for the Park Service. All these other like really cool jobs that people just don't think about. And then I was just kind of full forward, went back to Wisconsin and got a little Cessna 150. It was a little 1964.
You buy it yourself?
Yeah, with the help of my father, because he's obviously the very experienced pilot and salesman. And basically took that through my private pilot and flew with the family for a little bit afterwards. And during training, I was like, wow, this is a hell of a lot different than flying with the family constantly. Like it was kind of separate at that point, you know, like, oh, this could really be a career. And then decided I wanted to go full forward into it. Did an accelerated course, and that was out in Denver. And then worked as a CFI after that. So.
Word.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's
a little loop-de-loop.
Yeah. Didn't work out. So do you still do graphic on the side?
I do. Yeah. I'm still a part-time graphic designer. I do a lot of freelance stuff. So actually, primarily I'm working with aviation companies now. Oh. Which is cool, you know, because like you're working with, like I work with Fly Mac Alpha. He's very popular, obviously, on YouTube. John is an awesome guy. And then I've worked with other organizations like Women in Aviation chapters and local EAA chapters, like making, you know, flying breakfast posters or something like that. It's fun.
Wow.
No big deal.
No big deal. So when you did your accelerated training, how old were you then?
Let me see here. So you know, of course, I learned how to fly when I was pretty young, right? But I officially got my private pilot's license after university. I'd been out of university for a little bit. So I think I was probably 24, maybe 23 when I got my private, which means I was going to that accelerated course probably about 20, I guess probably around the same age, 23, 24. So going through my private, I only took 2 months to get through my private, which was about 41 hours or so. And then
you were just blasting it out, just straight through.
Accelerated. We just went through flying back-to-back days because my dad had obviously been in the area before, right? He knew aviation. So he was like, if you take any time off, it's just going to go longer and longer and longer and obviously much more expensive. So I pretty much just took those 2 months off. I worked for him, obviously, on the farm as much as I could. But for the most part, it was just like straight through. And then again, I flew, well, actually, after getting my private, I'm pretty sure I did another photography ski season out in Vail. And then I went to Denver afterwards. And I think Denver for the accelerated program, which coincidentally enough is ATP school, that was 6 months. So it was June through December.
I heard some things about ATP.
Yeah, they kind of have like a little bit of a battery. It's like half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very accelerated.
Very accelerated.
Like, you went instrument all the way to CFI in those 6 months?
So it was instrument, commercial single, CFI, CFII, commercial multi-engine. And then if you wanted, you could go to multi-engine instructor.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's intense.
It's intense?
Yeah.
Like, how was that?
If you are a self-starter and if you're independent, it's great.
Yeah.
But if you need somebody to like, you know, help you along with in-person classes or something like that, or if you're not like very driven, I guess, it's probably not for you. Okay. I mean, a lot of it is like the instructors are so busy. They might have, you know, 15 plus students and they're just basically there to get you through the flying. There's some that are really nice and will do in-person ground school here and there, but they're not necessarily doing that for everybody. I wouldn't count on that.
Oh, okay. So, like, what is the day in a life? Because that's a Part 141 school, and right?
Yes.
And we're a Part 61.
Correct.
So, obviously, like right now, self-paced, super chill. For that, was that like everyday study?
Yeah.
Fly?
I mean, it was full immersion. So, like, we even had apartments where we stayed with all the other students.
Wow.
So, I shared an apartment. First, it was a 2-bedroom apartment and shared it with, oh my God, I forgot who I shared an apartment. Anyways, doesn't matter. And then I got moved around to a couple different apartments later on, kind of as they were changing like apartment complex contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's full immersion. You go to the airport every single day. You study. Typically in the airport, they've got a lot of different rooms that you can like pop into and you're like, oh, cool. These guys are at the same part of the program with me. I'm going to go study with them. So a lot of us would just like get study groups together.
And those ground lessons, are they like in person kind of thing? Like you take a ground class and then you fly right after or something? Well,
these actually weren't even with instructors. This was with fellow students that we were just like grilling each other on, you know, acronyms and stuff like that. And like really deep diving into stuff. There's simulators that you could go use by yourself as well. So all of it was self-study for us. There was only one in-person ground school class that I had, with the exception of CFI school, throughout the entire program. And that was just like one of my CFIs thought it beneficial to talk about, I believe it was ADSB at the time, because this is when it was changing for everybody. So I'm pretty sure like he was like, hey, everybody, you can come if you want to. Just, it doesn't matter if you're in this point in the program or not. And it was just kind of a mass, you know, you go into the room, you see what he's talking about and go from there. But yeah, for the most part, it was all self-study, get together with buddies, just hammer it out.
Can I do that? You think I can do that?
I mean, if you can find some buddies, do it. I think that's the only way to go, honestly.
No, that study style?
Yeah.
I got to make friends now.
Yeah.
I got to start socializing.
That's the only sucky thing about like a Part 61 is everything is so spread out that you don't really know a whole lot of the other students.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Unless I go to like the safety meetings on Thursdays.
Yeah. And really the safety meetings is like people get their pizza, sit down, and then they're
yeah, that's what I thought it was. I'm just there for the pizza.
Yeah, see it, dude. I mean, I am too. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I really just, I don't know anyone. I like know the instructors. That's it.
Yeah, I wish there was more of a connection between students in a Part 61. Part 61 is more of like ma and pa, very independent. Part 141 is very structured. You have syllabuses to follow. So that was another thing about ATP is they were like, you have to be at this point in this many hours. And
can you get kicked out?
Yeah, you can. Now, I think they're probably pretty reluctant because they're getting a lot of money from you.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people who got kicked out in CFI school, funny enough. That was towards the end of the program. And that was like pretty intense. It was probably a month of ground school work, or no, 2 weeks, I think maybe, of ground school where you just were in there every single day with the ground school instructor. And there were some people who were just really struggling through it. And they got, essentially they were like, sorry, it's been too much.
It's crazy. You just get dropped and you got to go finish it somewhere else.
Yeah, essentially. You got to go to a different school.
Oh. Can you come back and teach?
To ATP?
Yeah.
If you graduated there, like if you got all of your licenses and you were in good standing, then yeah, you most likely will go teach. It's kind of like an airline in a way where like you put your name forward and you're saying, hey, I want to be a CFI. They'll look at your records and like say, okay, well, they were a good student. And then they will essentially tell you, okay, you can have this base as a preference, but we might pop you around to, let's say, Phoenix or, you know, somewhere in Florida or something like that. Because they've got locations all over the States.
So after you got your CFI, where did you teach anywhere besides here?
I taught in Wisconsin for a little bit. I was a freelance instructor. Now this was like when I was brand new. So
freelance?
Yeah.
You can do that?
Oh yeah.
Just be like, hey, I'm a freelance instructor. Just, you know, you have like your own business scheme kind of thing. Not scheme, but business model. And then. Yeah,
it's more common than what you think back in the States. Because you'll go to, you know, just like a local area airport and you go up to the bulletin board, which is like the almighty bulletin board in airports. Like they're super fun to look at. And then you'll see tons of business cards for people who are CFIs. So a lot of people will get their flight reviews done from them, or they'll say, hey, I want to buy an airplane and I want you to teach me through my private. Or there will be other people saying, hey, I'm going to rent this airplane from the school over here. Will you instruct me in that airplane?
Was it fun?
Like was it fun?
Yeah.
Being a freelance CFI?
Yeah.
Yeah. I liked it. Now, at that point, again, I was a new CFI, so I wasn't very structured. And this was the first time that I had really I was coming from a super strict program at ATP.
Yeah. Denver,
which was my ATP location, they had a really good reputation. They were really on the ball, extremely high standards. Whereas like some of the other ones were kind of like, or they were maybe even more so strict. But I was coming from that, which is a completely different teaching because they are teaching you to be professional pilots, right? That's kind of like the whole scheme of ATP.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go to other mom and pa's, they're much more relaxed. They're teaching you more practical skills. They're not just trying to rush you forward. You know, me going in with my private, I had that advantage, I guess I would say, of having a lot of exterior skill sets that maybe not a whole lot of other pilots are brought up around if they go to an accelerated program. Yeah. Especially with more advanced CFIs, right? So a lot of the guys who are freelance CFIs are retired or they've been a flight instructor their whole entire life. You know, it's a lot of elderly gentlemen, and they've got a wealth of knowledge and experience. So really cool. But I almost went to a freelance CFI to get my private done. I instead went to a little Part 61 school at a Class Delta nearby and got paired up with an instructor there who was probably one of the best instructors I could have ever hoped for. So
nice.
It was pretty dope.
She was dope too?
Yeah. She was super cool.
You take your CFI skills from her?
Well, some
pass
of them,
it on to your students?
Your little center line, you know, you're taxiing and I'm getting on you about that's from her for sure. There's some like, it's funny. You'll find little tweaks. Like when you get your CFI, you're probably going to find little tweaks of like, this person who taught me was a Nazi about these things, you know, or like very on them. And you'll find that yourself doing the same thing, or you'll teach different skill sets the same way. That's kind of the pass down, I guess, from CFI to student.
Right. Now, when I become a CFI, I'll be sitting over in the right seat and be like, how's that crosswind correction, though?
Crosswind correction.
We're like, what are you doing? Where is it? Where is it? Look at it. Where's your winds coming from?
Oh my God. That was another thing from my first CFI. Taylor was her name. And she was terrible. She was so mean. No, she wasn't mean about it. It was just constant. It was me being the CFI because I didn't have, or me being the student that was all grumpy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Grumpy about it because I didn't have like a DG or anything like that or a heading indicator in my airplane. I only had the magnetic compass. And she was constantly on me and be like, crosswind correction, where are they at?
And you're like, I don't know.
I was like, oh my
I don't know.
And so she made me try to find the windsock around the airport. And I was like, oh my God.
I can't see. Where's the windsock?
It was terrible.
Like, I think it's this way. No. Wrong.
Wrong. Dipstick comes out.
Yeah. Oh, man. Bless those students that I get in the future, I guess.
They'll be coming back to this episode and they'll be like, aha!
It's from her.
I'm gonna be like hiding my name on social media.
Just hide everything. He's like, I don't know. Put everything to private. You don't know me. So when did you start coming out here then?
I got out here in 2019 or 20.
Was that right after? Oh, I mean, did you take a break in between you being a freelance instructor and coming out here, or is it just
no? It was
boom, boom,
back to back.
Back to back.
Yeah, it was back to back because my guy is active duty, so he had been out here for about a year and a half at the time, and I had visited him several times before, so I knew there was an aero club out here, and I was essentially like saying, "Hey guys, if you need an instructor, let me know. I'll come out." And eventually, they were like, "Hey, our assistant chief is leaving for the airlines. Do you want to come over and take this position?" I was like, "Hell yeah."
Yeah, let me get in. Yeah. Let me slide in right there. And then that's when you came over, like, I'm coming now.
Like next day flight.
And what year was that?
I think it was 2019 or 2020.
2019.
It was just, actually, you know what? It might have been 2020 because I was visiting him from 2018 to 2019. So I'd been around Oki for a while, but 2020, I believe in February, was when it was just before everything got shut down for COVID.
Right. The COVID times, literally right there. February. I think February 2020, I just put on staff and I just finished ALS. I was the last graduating class where there was the
in
mass.
Person and stuff?
Yeah, in person, mass gatherings and everything. And then I got to my next job and then COVID.
Like, COVID. Here we
nothing.
go.
Shut everything down. Everyone go home. Everyone do half days, split shifts. I'm like, what?
Dude, it was rough.
It was rough. I heard it was really rough for flyers too.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Aero Club wasn't, I mean, we were affected. Hardly anybody was checking out airplanes because it was like against rules basically for them to do extracurriculars like that.
Really?
Well, like, close proximity, right?
Oh, yeah, like sitting right next to you in the cockpit.
Oh, yeah.
In that small little thing. Wait, let me do my, let me see if there's interference right now.
No germs in here.
No germs in here.
Yeah, it was pretty rough. I mean, not a lot of people were flying much. And then, let me see here. I don't think we actually got shut down per se. We might have. God, that seems so long ago. I know the ground school for sure got shut down. That was no bueno.
How was it for like, well, obviously travel got shut down, but I heard a lot of like professional pilots got like.
Yeah, they got furloughed. They got, some people just got like straight out let go. I actually had quite a few friends who were working in aviation at the time and still are, right? But they got it to the point to where they needed second jobs or they had to go out and do lift or something like that. It was pretty rough.
That's really rough.
Now, the guys who were doing cargo, that was like, oh my God, we need more of it right now because everybody was getting stuff online. Oh, yeah.
Amazon, UPS, FedEx.
Massive. It was
those
just
guys keep
everywhere. Yeah. I mean, cargo is awesome.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, from what I've heard from my buddies, they love it. It was, although I do have this one buddy who's an extrovert for sure. And he's been in cargo for the last few years.
Yeah.
I think he misses people, but I don't know. I'm a true introvert. So I'd be like, oh, boxes isn't that bad.
This isn't that bad. Okay. I'm gonna just chill with you by myself. Just us.
Right?
That's it.
It's just us.
We don't need anyone.
I don't need to listen to some person being like, even if they were telling me, oh my God, that was an amazing landing, I'd be like, oh, thank you so much. And then I would just want to retreat to the cockpit.
And then just retreat and then come back and be like, I don't want to talk to anybody.
I'm not a public figure.
Oh, you're about to be.
Oh, no. No. I feel like I'm already famous from your little Instagram 100%.
Reels. Like I said, everyone's been asking about you. Now they know. Now they know.
Professional badass.
You know, in 2020, around that time frame when during COVID, I actually did go to the Aero Club at one point.
Did you?
Got a brochure.
And they put you on a wait list?
I don't know if I put myself on the wait list because I debated it around that time. I was just like, oh, should I do this? I looked at it, looked at how much it costs. And then I'm like, I don't know if I have this money. Then I had the brochure on my desk. I had my whole stream set up, everything too. And I was like, we'll wait on this. We'll wait on this. Oh, so expensive.
It's expensive. Especially if you're not studying at home or like if you have not already budgeted out for flight training. It's so expensive.
It's expensive. Yeah. How do you think it compares out here to back in the States?
So actually out here is pretty reasonable priced. So previously, before the rate increase for the instructors, it was $35 an hour as of a month ago. And the aircraft rental, which is a beautiful aircraft, by the way, FedEx systems, glass panel, like it's nice, right?
I'm spoiled.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm about to know nothing when I go back to the States.
Well, you know what? You need 6-pack time because that makes you a really good pilot.
What is that?
6-pack time will make you so much more well-rounded than just... It's nice out here that we have kind of a half and half. Like it's half glass, half, standby and little Garmin 430s or something like that, right? That's still going to make you really well-rounded. But G1000 people, if they start out from that like right away, I think they kind of have a handicap because then they go into a 6-pack and they're like, oh my God, what is this?
These?
What are those?
That's me when I was in. So yesterday I had a ground lesson with Machida. And I sat in the sim. Yeah. You know, sometimes I don't look at the sim. And then when I look at the sim, I'm like, what is that? Because yesterday we were going over, VORs and stuff and navigation. And he's like, these are your, what is it called?
CDI?
Yeah.
Course deflection indicator?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. On nav 1 and nav 2. Yeah. And I was looking at it, I'm like, Interesting. When I look, I'm like, when I'm inside, 686, I'm just like, oh, that's what it is. Click the button.
Ding, ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
You're like, now I've got knobs.
I gotta turn this. I do this. What is this?
Oh, yes, nigga. What the hell?
It was a great lesson.
Good.
I actually was really invested in that lesson. I was like, this is really cool.
Wow.
Because I feel like, it's a whole new part. A whole new world. Like I kind of know how to fly the plane, but like now you're flying to a destination. Yeah. Now you have to navigate.
You were just like kind of putzing around practice areas before, right? Like just doing maneuvers. That was stage 1 of training. And this is kind of across all aviation. It's not necessarily like programmed as stage 1, right? But the first portion of your training is all about learning how to use the aircraft and manipulate it to do what you want, at least for the basics, right?
Yeah.
And then now you're in, post solo, you're more into the technical knowledge. Like, okay, now you're using the whole panel to your advantage versus just being like, this little section right here is what I'm focusing on.
Yeah, it was awesome looking at that. Showed me the map, which I got a map from the office, by the way. Little sectional chart. I'm over there looking at it. I'm like, oh, this is what this means. So if I type in this frequency right here, this Morse code should pop up right here. Beep, 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 beep.
You're so smart.
I was like, wow. And he was teaching me how to was it like intercept? Like
intercept the radial.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're like that thing.
That thing. I was like, yeah, I love Machida.
Good.
We about to do some great things.
Machida-san is badass.
Oh, he's badass.
Yeah.
Super badass.
Super.
Yeah. You're badass too, okay? Don't get it wrong, all right?
Thank you.
But you're leaving, so he's
he's the new badass.
He's the new badass, okay? I'm about to make a video be like, she left me, and then he's gonna pop in. He's just gonna walk out.
Dun, da, da, da. Here's my new bae.
This is my new bae right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, how am I as a student?
How are you as a student?
Yeah.
I think you're an excellent student. And it's just not me kind of.
She's gassing me up.
Yeah, I mean,
she's gassing me up.
Brownie points.
Yeah,
no, you're actually a really good student. The things that make a great student is you are studying outside of lessons, which you do. You come prepared. You're like, boom, boom, boom. I know exactly what I need to do. I just need to apply it in the airplane. And then there's also just wanting to fly. Some other people are out here and they're chasing the hours for a board package or something like that, right?
Really?
Yeah. And you can tell that they don't enjoy it, but they just want to get through it because they think, okay, if I get a pilot position with the military, I'm not going to be flying these dinky little airplanes, right? So they're just not invested. They just hate it already. But it's you're going to be in these type of airplanes regardless, So it's if you don't enjoy this,
they're
probably not going to enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you get the people who are just not invested or they don't want to try or they're just not loving it. They tell themselves, hey, I've always wanted to be a pilot. I love flying. But when they get up there, you can tell that they don't, right?
Yeah.
So enjoyment, studying ahead, and you're super fast learner. Granted, I have excellent students who are slower learners, but the quicker you can get through something, I mean, it really does help. I'm not going to lie. Fast learners make my job and your learning so much easier.
Yeah.
So.
And my wallet too.
And your wallet.
And especially my wallet.
Yeah, well, it's whew.
Good thing he doesn't have to repeat that one again.
Yeah, whoa, that was wild.
It's interesting because I was on Instagram one day and I was looking at this other flight instructor, but she's a civilian flight instructor for the Navy Marine Aviators kind of thing.
Yeah, there's some civilian instructors out there.
And in her post, she was saying that those students, because they're flying, I think in the 172 or something, they only get 6 flights.
That doesn't surprise me. So
that's crazy.
I actually got a job offer from the Air Force version of that, which is IFT, or initial flight training. And that's over in the Colorado Springs area kind of thing. And they're essentially the same thing. They give you limited amount of flights. I don't know if it's 6. That seems maybe a little bit low for their Air Force training, but they just pop you in the airplane. They're in diamonds. So similar to the caliber of a 172, except they're really nice little aircraft.
Yeah.
And then they're pretty much putting you through the ringer of, takeoffs, landings. And then they even start introducing instrument stuff, which is pretty wild. But they're only flying daytime and VMC. So they're not in IMC. They're not in nighttime or anything like that. But they just push you through.
Are you going to have to go through that?
No, because, the whole point of this program is for me to bypass a lot of their pilot training anyways. But let's say I was starting from, where I would be if I was just going into a normal, hey, I want to be a pilot in the military.
Yeah, I want to be a pilot.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got a private pilot's license, I'm 99% positive that they just have you bypass IFT.
Wow.
And then you just go straight to the T6s. So.
Wow.
Wow.
Are you excited for that?
Yeah.
How many flight hours do you have? I'm just curious.
I have it's been a while since I added them up. I think I'm probably around like 12 or 1300 at this point.
Wow.
You know, it seems like a lot, right? But at this point, it just doesn't really feel like it. Also, I've got a lot of other flight time that I was stupid and didn't log when I was a private pilot. Because I was like, in the beginning, I just didn't think I was going to do this as a career.
Yeah.
Until I really started getting into it. And I was like, this is super cool. So technically, you don't have to log flight hours unless it's for like currency or to get a certificate. Mm-hmm. So at the time, me being, again, very naive and stupid, I was like, logbook. I'm not going to spend the 1 minute to fill that out. Yeah. So I probably have another couple hundred hours that I was just like, dink, don't care.
That's fine. You're close to an ATP almost, huh?
Yeah, close. Yeah. So if I was going the civilian route, I would just need, a couple hundred more hours and then I could apply for my ATP to go into the airlines.
Yeah. Would you?
I'm not really an airlines kind of person. That might change in another 5 or 10 years, but it just does not entice me at all in this moment, which is part of the reason why I'm going military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I want to be an airline pilot. I'm not going to follow that. I'm not going to follow that. Hawaii.
Here he comes.
Dude, it's going to be a good time. Yeah. I'm excited for that.
I'm excited for you. There's some people who fit the airline industry to a T. And I think you would really enjoy it, honestly.
Okay, check it out. Ready?
Get it.
Aloha, mai kako. Welcome to Maui, Hawaii. The temperature is 72 degrees Fahrenheit, and I hope you have a good time.
For you, sir.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, practicing.
This is your captain speaking.
This is your captain speking.
Oh, that was a good voice.
That was good.
Oh my God.
Mike just made it.
At attention. Give me the emergency procedure, sir.
Oh, that's funny. One day we'll get there. We'll get there.
You're well on your way.
We'll get there.
Zing.
Do you think flying in? Oh, how different is it flying out here in Okinawa overseas versus back in the States?
Extremely.
Really?
Yeah. It's pretty restrictive. I mean, like back stateside. Okay, let's start from the flight plans, right? You know how you have to file a flight plan for every single flight out here. It doesn't matter if we're staying in the pattern or not. If you're not going, IFR, you always have to file a flight plan if you're a flying instrument, right? If you are just putzing around, maybe local area, staying in the pattern, whatever, nobody ever files a flight plan. If they are going cross country, I would say 50% of pilots out there probably don't even file that way if they're general aviation. There are some, it's smarter too, so that they kind of know where you're going and you can have the extra resources at your disposal. But I mean, a large majority of people don't even fill out flight plans. So, I mean, on that aspect, paperwork and stuff, non-existent. Then
non-existent. It doesn't even matter.
Super safe.
Yeah.
For going cross countries, we have to fax forms. We have to pay landing fees. And this is several days in advance that you have to prepare this. It's very, very restrictive. You can't do takeoffs and landings at your destination airport. You can't go out there just for fun. Hey, I'm going to go to Iejima today. You can't do that, right? So the only places on island that we can actually land, take off is Kadena and Futema. And we can't even full step at Futema, which is a Marine base, by the way. It's just very restrictive in comparison to the States. And then the weather's terrible out here all the time.
The weather.
All the time.
Weather, yeah. I was thinking about flying this weekend and I looked at the weather. I'm like, it's probably not going to happen. Yesterday, I wanted to fly yesterday. Yeah. It didn't happen.
Oh, yesterday was terrible.
Yeah, yesterday was terrible.
Yeah, that's okay, if you think about comparison to how many hours people fly back stateside as a CFI, if you're in a very busy flight school, you're probably flying anywhere from 800 to 1,000 hours per year. That's pretty standard. And that's a lot. You get 1,000 hours per year. You probably don't have a social life. You know what I mean?
Flying, just a lot. Straight flying.
Or 100 hours per month. That's a lot. It's quite a bit. But then you've got maybe the freelancers or Part 61. They're maybe going I don't know, 50, 60 hours per month of flight, which is still quite a bit, right? You're busy because it's not just the flight hours. You're putting in a lot of hours outside of that time to, be with students and get them prepped and stuff like that. Out here, I would say maximum hours I've flown a year would be maybe 350.
What?
Or 400 maximum.
Max?
Yeah. I mean, that's why I'm only at 12 or 1300 right now. Cause I've been out here. I've been a CFI probably 4 or 5 years now. I think maybe 4 years. So at that point, again, I'm still a young pilot, but if I was back stateside, I would be well above probably 2,000 hours now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just Okinawa.
Yeah, it's just Okinawa.
That's just Okinawa.
You're getting, you're trading the hours and the fast pace for crazy experience.
Yeah.
So it's just a different give and take.
You think I'll be fine when I go back to the States?
Yeah, I think so. It's just going to take a few hours just to get used to it and kind of see okay, this is local procedures. This is the sectional charts are going to look different. They're going to be a lot more intense, and obviously for flying to different airports, it's going to be a little bit different. You're much more on your own there. You're not getting carried from point to point.
Yeah.
It's kind of you got to have those basic skill sets. Obviously different type of airplane too. So it's going to be different systems.
Oh, no, that's going to be like.
It's going to be fun for you to switch over. When I first came over here, I was shocked.
You're like, what is this?
This is mayhem.
This is crazy.
It's terrible.
This is it?
Yeah, it's just one throttle.
It's just one throttle?
And then when I was like, hey, I want to go for a cross country today, Machida-san was like, no.
Really?
Yeah, because I got to fax form several days in advance. I got to plan weather briefings. It was like filing for a very intense IFR flight. And even then, those, for the most part, you can plan a day in advance or, the same day. So it was just crazy intense in comparison to the States.
Wow.
After a few flights, though, you get used to it. It's going to be the same for when you go back stateside.
Lots of planning, huh?
Mm-hmm.
For them cross countries.
I'm
looking forward to it.
You're going to have super fun.
Oh, man. We're going to have fun.
Oh, flying to new islands.
He was telling me the islands that we've flown or that we will fly to and stuff.
Yeah.
Which is all in the Kagoshima district.
Yep. Kagoshima prefecture.
Yo, it's cool. Are they nice?
Yeah. I mean, they're cute little islands.
There are people living there? I mean, obviously there's people living there.
They're all inhabited. Yeah.
Wow. So is it a smaller Okinawa probably?
Yeah, kind of. You're going to be pretty surprised at how small the airports are. They're itty bitty. The facilities anyways, right? They have one tiny little office and that's it. And you go and pay your landing fee. Everybody only speaks Japanese, right? There's a little bit.
There's a little
Might want to get on those lessons.
I have to get back on those lessons.
You're going to be with Machida-san, so he's going to be fine.
You're Machida.
You have a little translator.
Translate.
They're pretty cool little islands, though. Obviously much smaller than Oki. But yeah, it's wild. The only thing that I absolutely do not like about cross countries out here is flying over water for an extended amount of time.
I think that's crazy.
Yeah. It's not for me.
Emergency procedures, ditching.
Oh yeah, ditching. Hands
Straight
down.
ditching.
You're like, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on that boat because if things go wrong,
I'm going next to that boat.
We're parking right next to her.
We're right next to that boat. Be like, hey, help me.
Get a little parallel parking action. Here we are.
Here he is. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Just straight ocean.
Oh yeah, you don't have any gliding distance whatsoever.
Yeah, I was and you also got to fly at night too across the ocean.
Yeah.
Too? Wild.
I know. But Machida-san will probably bring you back IFR at nighttime because as you go further north, the clouds usually get lower and lower and lower. So if you're coming back at nighttime, I mean, I don't know. It could be a beautiful, clear night sky too, but that's the advantage of having a super experienced IFR pilot with you as well. Because if things go wrong, it's just think.
He was telling me yesterday a story. He said he was with an instrument student and they went all the way up to Tokyo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, how long did that flight take?
Days.
Yeah. He said 10 hours or something.
Yeah, it was crazy long. I think it's a 9-hour flight, 9 or 10 hours.
He said 10 hours. And then from there, they got to Yokota. And then on their way back, they wanted to go to Osaka for a concert. And I was like,
okay.
So are we going to do that?
Add it to the syllabus, sir.
I was like, are we going to go to a concert or what? I'm down for that.
That's awesome. Yeah. I want to go.
I want to go to a concert.
I'll stay on Oki just to go to a concert in Osaka.
Dude, that is such a far flight.
That's really long. No, I think the longest cross country, a one leg that I've been on was probably about 6 hours maybe.
On out here or back at home?
Back home.
Back at home?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
We went from Wisconsin.
Did you also go to a concert?
No. No, my dad was actually bringing me out there for the ski season for me to be a photographer in Vail. So we went from Wisconsin to Colorado. But yeah, that one was 5 hours maybe.
That's a bit.
Yeah, and then we had like in ATP, you have what's called crew. So you get paired up with another pilot, and it's basically to build time for your commercial license. Mm-hmm. So we just get sent on cross countries every single day, but they're only maybe like 3 or 4 hour legs. So, or less.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and you're probably doing like multiple legs a day, maybe 3 or so. So, I mean, it's still exhausting, but at least you get like little breaks to go on and stretch your legs and stuff.
Since being a pilot out here, anything crazy ever happened?
Lots of crazy things.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, as a CFI, like, again, you will get this when you get your CFI rating. But it is, I love my students, but some of them will try to kill you.
Nope. It's so funny because sometimes, even my friend, he talks about it. He's like, today I wasn't just, my student tried to kill me today.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, it's the norm, huh?
It's great. Yeah. I mean, and CFIs get paid like itty-bitty amount of money, right? Just as like an FYI to everybody, if you're going to a school and let's say the instructor fee is $35 or $45, the instructor is not getting all of that. There's no way. Like you're maybe getting $20 an hour, maybe. And it's like for some of the students that want to try to kill me, I should be getting like $2,000 per hour.
You should be getting $2,000.
No, it's just crazy. You know,
I'm risking my life.
Risking my life for you fools.
Risking my life for $20.
Thank God this dude did not try to kill me.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I'm sure. No. I think so.
I think so.
I mean, Instagram would be able to tell with all your little videos, unless you're like withholding those from Reels and just like, oh,
like,
this was a rough
that
moment.
wasn't a good one. Let's delete that one. No, I'm not trying to die either. Okay.
Okay, good. No, I mean, there's been a lot of things like, you know, near misses with ospreys who are absolutely rampant down here. And then there's been a student who tried to throw me into a spin and then she started crying and then almost tried to throw me into another spin. And it was not fun. Bad day.
Did you actually go into a spin?
No.
Oh, okay.
We almost started. We started going into like the first turn and I was able to recover it right away.
You're like, nope.
Yeah, this is not today,
not
Satan.
today. Do it again. Not again.
Yeah, she went into a secondary stall and I was, so you're towing the boundary between like letting your students make the mistakes, but also not getting to a point where it compromises safety.
Yeah.
So as soon, and some of that stuff happens fast. So it's like, okay, this is still within the line. This is still within the line. Okay. Oh, towing it. Oh, okay. Oh no, here we go.
Oh, no. Give me that.
Yeah. Oh, my controls.
My controls.
But that's, I don't know. There's been a lot of other little things. You know, I had a engine cut out and stuff like that, but you're going to get the stateside too. It's just, good luck.
Good luck. So let's just say I don't want to be a CFI.
Okay.
What can I do?
Like to build hours?
Yeah.
Oh, there's lots of things. It's very much more of like a niche area because, you know, for anybody to hire you, you have to be insurable. And CFIs, like right away, we can get hired with bare minimum time. Like as soon as you get your CFI rating, you know, that's why everybody goes to be a flight instructor right away is because they don't have to wait and build more time to get hired by somebody else. Yeah. But a lot of people will fly pipeline, you know, survey routes. They'll, let me see here. Well, pipeline is like, you know, you're literally flying very low to the pipeline and like checking it out along routes, right? For damages and stuff like that. Then there's other people who fly survey, which is pretty much like you've got a camera strapped to your airplane. I have quite a few friends who did that actually. And then they build hours that way. And then there's other things like parachute jumper flying and towing banners. I know some people who did that too. It's just more of like a good old boys club that you kind of got to know the right people to get into it.
Kind of network your way into.
Yep. But they're fun little gigs. Like if you're not going to be, and not everybody should be a CFI, right? Yeah. So it's like, don't pressure yourself to go into that if you don't think you're going to enjoy it. Because then you're going to screw up your students too.
Yeah. Yeah, I do hear some people or some stories from some people where they're like, they become CFIs, but they just don't care. Yeah. They're just there to build the hours.
I've had a CFI like that before.
Wow.
It was just not, like everybody's grumpy, nobody's learning anything, and you're just screwing everybody over.
Toxic.
Yeah. It's like a toxic relationship. Just leave already.
Just leave. Go do something else, dude. No one wants to learn anymore.
No.
That's fine.
And they're just kind of like, nah.
I'll find it. I'll see. I'll probably become an instructor.
I think you would be a really good instructor if you would enjoy it, right? Yeah. Like that's kind of the key thing. I think there's a lot of people who would be really good instructors, but if they're not going to enjoy it, then they're going to be a miserable instructor, right?
Yeah.
So based on what I've seen thus far, I think you'd be an awesome instructor.
Dude, telling you, I'm be like, how's that crosswind correction? Be like,
Center line.
Center line. Be like, oh, look, we're in a spin. What are you going to do? No. just look back at the other.
Just like hands up.
Just be like, woo! We're in a spin. What are you going to do?
You
Huh?
have 2 seconds to recover. Yeah, you'd be fun. It's just like you got to have the right personality too. But also, I will say that I'm probably not the best instructor when you're with a student who you do not jive well with.
Oh, I see.
So it's kind of like when you're around other people, right? Like
if you don't vibe well with them.
Oh man, nobody's going to enjoy you.
Yeah, no, it's just going to be very painful.
Yeah.
Slow.
And it's going to be like, okay, this is awesome. Love it.
Damn. Be like, are we flying again?
Are we ready here? Oh yeah, we're going to call that a full stop.
Yeah. And full stop, please. Take it back to the ramp.
Time's done.
Time is done.
Yeah.
1 hour on the dot.
And then you make those students put their own airplane back into their parking spot.
That's another thing that I learned.
Yeah.
Yeah, from you.
Yeah, when you just
kidding.
like really hate that student, you just make it do it by himself.
Like, hey man, you got this, right? Leave. Just walk away. See ya. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
So are you excited to be an officer?
Yeah, I am. I think I'm more of like, I think I'm more relieved to have, this actually happening because it's a long process. There's been a lot of like, psych, you're not going, when they would tell me that I was. And yeah, I mean, I was supposed to go to OTS like last year in May. And then it was like October. And then it was.
Dude, that's like almost a year delay.
Yeah. And then it was January and then it was here. And this originally started me trying to go reserve and guard. But then I eventually just decided, even those guys, you're not guaranteed to be able to fly as much as you want.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking to myself, well, again, for reserve and guard, they're trying to make the most of it. They're trying to double dip in civilian and in military, right?
That's what I heard.
Fantastic. It's a great plan if you want to fly civilian side, right? And at that point, I was kind of like,
oh, that is true. Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of want to go full time. Why not?
Do you have to serve 10 years?
Yeah. Everybody has to serve 10 years as a pilot in the military, including reserve and guard.
Including reserve and guard?
Yep.
And my friend was telling me about that. People, like those pilots, they fly for like the airlines or something, and then they have their like part-time guard reserve gig. He even told me of people that were like, because like how you can't like interfere with like that federal service kind of deal.
Right. Yeah.
Where they're like, what, I don't want to fly today with the airlines. I have to go fly with the guard or reserve.
There's like a lot of little loopholes that people use.
And then they still get paid like their minimum of that.
Exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, reserve and guard, they are excellent. Like little options. People always were saying that they were like the best kept secret, but they're not really secrets anymore, especially after COVID hit, because a ton of pilots, lost their jobs or they got furloughed from the airlines and they were like, oh, reserve and guard.
Reserve or guard.
Here we go.
And they don't have to like compete for the aircraft, apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, if you get sponsored by a unit and they fly the 130s, the Hercs, that's like, what you're flying.
You're going to fly this 130 or, even a fighter jet or something.
They do them for fighters. Fighters are obviously a little bit more competitive, right? Because everybody wants to fly a fighter.
Like, you want to fly an F-22? Sure.
Yeah. Lucky dogs. I think it's excellent options, but yeah, I don't know. I just want to go full time. Just want to go into it. Yeah.
So why the C-130 though?
Well,
I mean, right? It's still up in the air, right?
It is. Yes. Yeah, because I don't have a choice over my airframe. Yeah. Besides, I'm locked into mobility reconnaissance or surveillance based on this program, which is the CPW, Civil Path to Wings program. Everybody's got a pilot shortage right now. So the military is like, hey, we'll solve that by saying if you're a civilian multi-engine commercial pilot, you come in, and they've got other minimums and stuff too, but you apply to your own board. We'll select you from there, see what your skill level is at, based on simulators and stuff like that. And then
did you have to do that?
Oh yeah. You have to go through oral exam, written exam, simulator time. That was all down in Texas. So I actually got sent back from Okie to go do that for a few days and then came back. So it's a little bit more intense, but they're just trying to figure out, okay, if we get your skill level based on, these inputs, right? where would you best thrive in our program? Because they don't want you to wash out. They need pilots, so if you are maybe a Cessna 172 instructor for the last, 5 years, kind of like what I was, I don't have career experience. I don't have jet experience. So they were like, hey, well, you're obviously, fine with passing the T6s, although they're a super fun aircraft and I'm sure there's loads that I could learn in them. We're going to start you in the T1s, which is the next step up. So I get to bypass, that first 6 months or whatever it is from it. But that's, of course, if the class dates line up. I might have to do the whole thing over anyways. But the C-130s in particular, again, I don't know if I'm going to get C-130s or not. I would love to.
No, we're manifesting it. We're manifesting the prop.
Yeah, loud, guys. If the reason why I'm like kind of wanting it is, I grew up in kind of that backcountry, low level flying type of area.
Yeah.
I want to get back to that. And also I want to do something that I will not do as a civilian, because there's still a chance, okay, I'll do my 10 years and I'm going to get out and then I'll go fly commercially civilian again or something like that. But at this point, like, I just want to do something wild.
I want to do something
crazy.
Wild, dude.
Yeah.
Just full send it. That's cool. So what would happen? Let's just say you don't get the C-130. What's your next bet?
Honestly, I don't really have anything.
It's like, I don't have anything
else.
I'm just full sending this.
I think I would be happy with anything that I'm going to fly, because it's like, you're a pilot. You're just wanting to go fly.
You're enjoying what you do anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I love teaching. The only reason why I'm doing this is this is like the next step in your career, right? If I was going to teach for a while longer, that would be fine. It's just at this point, you're kind of doing the same thing every day. And I've been teaching again for like 4 or 5 years. So it's been a while.
Is that the average time?
No, technically, not technically. Typically, people are usually like 2 years maximum.
Yeah.
And then they're like on their airlines.
Wow.
Maybe even less than that. Year and a half. So
depends on the grind and the school.
Yeah, exactly. And what their goals are too.
Yeah.
Again, there's some people who are like, I'm all right. I'll just stay here for a little bit or I'll go part 135 or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm ready for the next step.
Dude, that's exciting. So you're going to go to OTS this weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Oh,
dun, dun, dun.
Boy. And that is what, 8 weeks?
Yes, 8-week program.
8 weeks.
They kind of like go back and forth between the length, but.
Come out. Don't worry, you already got your butter bar inside of that bag already. Okay. And then from there, you're going to go straight to the flying.
Yeah,
aspect?
Straight to flying. Whether or not it's the T6s or T1s, I have no idea. But, there's other people who are like, you are flying corporate for this long. You're killing it. We don't need to teach you anything else. We're going to have you bypass everything and go to an 11-week simulator only course. And then you get your wings and then you're done.
Wow.
I did have a few people go into that I know who were in that, like the same skill eval as I was.
Yeah.
Really, really talented pilots, but they just got done with OTS. They went a little bit earlier than me and they didn't have any class dates available for the simulator only course. So they're actually starting from the beginning, T6s, which again, it's not going to be a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
No.
That's at Shepherd, right? In Texas, Wichita Falls?
There's a few different bases per, oh my gosh. There's one down on the border too, and I'm blanking on the name right now. I can't remember. Anyways, There's a lot. The T1s are based out of Mississippi, Oklahoma, and Texas. So if I do get slotted into what I'm actually supposed to be in, those are going to be one of the 3 that I'll go to.
And then so you go to that, and then after that you would go to the sim?
Well, no, I'm not. Like the sim is like bypassing those first 2 sections. Wow. So I would go T1s for 6 months, and then you go to what's called an FTU, your formal training unit. And at the end of the T1s, you get your drop night where you figure out what airframe you're going to be in, right? And then based on the airframe, that's the formal training unit you go to. So let's say I got 130Js or something.
Yeah.
I would go to that FTU for, I don't know, they vary. It might be anywhere from like 2 to 4 months or maybe even longer, right? And then based on that training or afterwards, that's when you get assigned your first base. So I'm looking at probably a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Maybe. Like, of course, there's going to be delays everywhere. So probably a year and a half.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Is your husband just going to stay out here and wait?
Yeah, he's going to stay out here. He's going to get PCSing in August to go to Korea for a year.
Oh, that kind of works out, I guess. Yeah. You training and he's out there doing his thing for a year.
He might take another short term afterwards. but we'll see.
After that, just link up.
Yeah.
Wow, that is cool. Dude, like, that's exciting.
I'm pretty stoked.
That's exciting, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I have a friend, and he went the officer pilot route. But when I guess, was that called the drop night?
Yeah, drop night.
Drop night?
Yeah, I think it is.
Where you know what you're flying.
Whatever, yeah.
Where you know what you're flying. He got thrown as a flight instructor.
Was he excited?
No.
Oh. You know, some of those guys, though, I think they do programs where it's like you can get an instructor slot, right? Or you can like get assigned that and then they'll give you your preference. It's kind of like base preference.
Oh, okay.
Like
I see.
I don't know if he got that deal.
I hope he got that deal because he literally, like, I guess graduated from flying whatever you guys train on.
And he was like super stoked.
Super stoked. And then he's teaching that again.
Poor dude.
Poor guy.
Is it the T6s that he's training in or no?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have heard the T6s are super fun. So hopefully he's having a little bit of fun.
Is that the one with the...
a little turboprop.
The turboprop on the front is...
I mean, it's high horsepower. That little... I'm pretty sure it's like 1,200 horsepower. I'm not positive, but that little sucker's got some power.
You said tandem in those?
Yes. Yeah.
And then you're in the front? Mm-hmm. And then they got cut your shirt after, right?
No, you get the ice dunk.
Oh, you get the ice dunk?
They've got like the little swimming pool that they toss you in.
You don't cut your shirt?
No. Pretty sure you're in flight suits at that point. So if you like cut it, it would be like the little long johns with like the butt flap.
Oh gosh. No, that's, like I said, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Year and a half. Well, where would I be a year and a half from now?
Are you going to get out or are you going to stay in?
I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
How much do you have left on contract?
I get out next year, June. That's about a year and 3 months?
Yeah.
A year and 3 months. You might be almost done with training at this point.
Maybe.
Yeah. So my plan is to get out. Right now, it's kind of up in the air where I want to go to. Might go back to Washington State where our family's at. Or another option came up. Might go to Texas instead.
Oh.
And fly out there.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm just looking at schools that have like that GI Bill benefit. One of the schools were in Texas.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Texas, you're going to be able to fly pretty much 24/7.
That's kind of why I want to go down there. And it's cheaper.
Yeah.
The cost of living down in Texas is a lot cheaper.
Oh, yeah, I bet from Washington.
Dude, way cheaper. You can get a nice brand new construction house, $350K.
I'm sorry?
$350K. Maybe even $400K. Brand new construction house. And we're looking at Denton, Texas, which is a little bit north of Dallas.
I've heard of Denton.
Yeah, there's this. Have you ever heard of U.S. Aviation Academy?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
There's a flight school out there in Denton, and they offer everything, all those military benefits. So that is kind of where I'm leaning towards to go to. Yeah,
Texas is, I mean, they're flooded. Texas, Florida, and Arizona have a million flight schools. California too. But those three states, like, you're going to get tons of flight time.
Oh,
it's awesome. Really easy to just like run on through. So are you going to be like full-time accelerated through?
Full-time.
Yeah, that's good. That's the only way to go.
That's the only way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with like the collegiate program with Liberty University. So right now I'm actually doing some of the aviation degree requirements. And then when I get to, I'm using my TA to knock all that out.
Nice. Very nice.
All the way up until next June. And then once June hits, hopefully I have almost all of my, what is that called? My schooling, I guess. Yeah. Or the degree requirement done.
Oh, yeah.
And then just focus on flying.
Like your academics will be
all my academics. And then just use my GI Bill to focus on flying.
That's pretty sick.
That's the plan.
That's
good. And then from there, you know, it even covers all the way up to CFI, CFII, even
very nice.
Even MEI too.
Oh, good. Yeah. Good.
So you never know.
That's really good to hear.
Your boy might be there too.
Your boy
might be there, or like I said, I might just get sick of it, and I might just find a job maybe around Dallas.
Yeah, right.
No.
Yeah, right.
You're right.
You're in aviation now. You're stuck.
I'm stuck forever. No, the only thing that's really funny is when I was looking at that school, they're like, I feel they're like really like official, like they wear like
the polos and stuff like that.
No, like like a pilot uniform kind of thing
with the bars and everything.
With the bars, and they tuck in.
Oh no!
So I was like, Yay, uniforms again.
I'm not going to lie. We used to make fun of those people all the time.
You're gonna be
You're like, oh, a little first officer? Really? Okay.
Nerd.
Where's your ERJ? I don't think so. Yeah. That sounds miserable. I'm not going to lie. Especially in Texas heat, you got to wear that stuff.
Dude, I was looking at it and I was like,
no thanks. Not for me. I had to fly in Texas a few times, like on that crew stuff for ATP. And my buddy and I, like, we were at, 10,000 feet, 11,000 feet. We had the windows open and it was still like
miserable.
Oh my God. That was the only relief we got. And then as you started coming down, of course,
it gets hotter.
Yeah. We had to close our windows at some point for landing, right?
Yeah.
And it was just, it was miserable because you don't have AC. So if you're going to do this, make sure those little suckers have AC. Maybe they train at Cirrus's. Those are nice. Like a Cirrus SR20 or something. Those have AC.
I saw Cessnas.
Oh. Just kidding.
Just kidding.
Wipe that hope away.
Wipe that away.
Nothing
and
there.
He's going to get really dark and really sweaty.
You're going to have like ice packs strapped to your chest. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Dude, that is...
You should get one of the fan shirts that the Japanese use.
Dude, I should. These guys, they walk around. I see them walking around my dorm sometimes with the fans. I'm like, is he like wearing fans and battery? And he's just walking around. Yeah. He's huge chilling.
I'm telling you, that's the way to go.
All right.
Or like the little clip-on fan so you can put on your dashboard.
I'm putting it in the plane.
Pro tip, everybody, if you live in Japan, get the little fans to keep yourself cool while flying.
Get the vest with the thingy.
You look like a little Michelin tire man.
You're excited, huh?
Yeah.
To leave.
Yeah. I'm really stressed right now, I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to do a lot of preparation?
Yeah, because it's kind of like out processing because you're like trying to sell everything like a typical PCS. I was going to medical. The car's gone. Trying to sell my bike. I'm trying to like just get everything cleared out. And it's a nightmare. I have to finish up a lot of graphic design projects. I got to do just everything. Because when you PCS to OTS, like you can't take household goods, obviously. You can't take anything else. So it's like you're downsizing everything to like a duffel bag in your backpack. That's just a lot.
I see.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah.
How is it like being a woman in aviation?
I have not had it as hard as some of the other women that I've known kind of over the years of like, they've gotten some pretty nasty stuff said to them. Now, I have also said, or have also received very inappropriate or nasty comments, especially from students or from...
Really?
Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's just kind of what happens. It's, you have to have thick skin.
So disrespectful.
It is.
Like, what'd you say? Whack!
Or you get a lot from, like, managerial stuff, or managerial people, or, from people who you just want to talk to aviation about, and they just kind of like automatically dismiss you. They just like, you're just here for diversity reasons. It's not the best thing, but it's, women make up 7% of commercial pilots in the States. And I'm one of that 7%. And I'm not even, flying for the airlines, right? So you got to think about that percentage.
That's smaller percentage.
Small.
Even like in the airline side too. It's even smaller.
Big time. I think my whole entire time that I've been out here, so about 3.5 or 4 years as an instructor, I've had 3 female students. And it's just kind of like each one I see, I'm like, sick. There's going to be more of us.
Finally, a girl.
Right.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to like prep them, like, hey, you might get this said to you every once in a while. And you got to be professional too about how you respond, because aviation is a crazy small industry. So if you piss off even like a guy who's got very close-minded views, that could affect, your career choices down the road. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what you got to think about.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's not the best, but aviation in general, you have to have thick skin because you're constantly getting critiqued, and it's very performance-based, as our post-flight critiques have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like,
this is stupid to use the rudder on this portion of the flight.
you are actually like trash, okay?
Right? Like, I'll ask you, how do you think you did? You're like, I think like a 7 out of 10. I think like a 4 out of 10.
I think you did a 4. It's like that slow flight, you were going left the whole time.
Yeah, it was terrible.
It was terrible. And then
do you know what rudders are?
You tried to recover and we still kept going left.
Yeah, it was terrible. I don't know what you think that was, but it was not still flight. But no, it's just, I don't know. You just got to deal with it. You know, it's not going to go away anytime soon. I think it's getting a lot better.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunately not going to go anytime soon.
You're badass.
Thank you.
It doesn't even matter.
Wow.
You can have a lot of, you think you're going to have any more challenges going into the military now?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think military, okay. It's no secret that pilots have large egos, right?
100%.
Even myself,
yeah,
I'm pretty macho sometimes.
Yeah, bursting.
Yeah, just got to bring that down a little bit. No, I mean, it's hard. You got to be very confident in your skill set, right? And some people will take that too far. I think in the military, it might be even more so than civilian aviation.
Really?
Based on what I've heard. But, you know, also like the pilot checkouts that I do here, a lot of the guys are older pilots and they're super humble, really sweet. You know, honestly, they're the ones who encouraged me to do this in the first place. I was very anti-military aviation.
Really?
So I was like, yeah, I've already paid for my stuff. There's no freaking way. I don't want people to tell me what to do with my daily life too. And I don't want to, you know, it was just a lot of reasons why I was like, screw the military.
Screw it.
And now I'm
joining
leaving for OTS in a few days.
Now I'm leaving and now I'm doing at least 10.
Yeah, right. 10 years. Sign me up.
Doing at least 10.
But no, I mean, those guys really convinced me to do it in the first place. And they're just very sweet. They were telling me about all the benefits and stuff. So you get people like that. But then I think the people who you're going to interact with on a day-to-day basis are probably going to be even more macho.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think there's going to be quite a few challenges, yeah. Because a lot of it, especially right now, and like for people of color, for women, if we get hired in aviation, they're like, diversity.
Yeah, that's the first thing that they say.
Yeah, exactly. They needed to boost their numbers for whatever reason. Yeah.
But it all comes down to performance.
Oh, yeah.
Skill level.
We have the same, you know, we have the same qualifications as everybody else. We have the same hours. It's not like we had to get hired with less.
Proved yourself to come to this point anyway. Yeah,
it is the whole thing of like paying your dues. Like I've done that.
You've done that. You paid your dues.
Yeah.
Starting a new chapter now.
New chapter.
If you could give advice to those other aspiring women aviators coming up through, they're looking up to you, by the way. What is it?
Wow, this is tough.
It's deep
advice, huh?
Yeah.
If you're going to go into aviation, it's not like a half-ass, or it's not a hobby, you know, unless you're doing it as a hobby. But even then, like, it's a very intensive hobby.
Yeah.
It's not to be taken lightly. If you're going to do this as a career, if you have any inkling, or if you are doing it as a career, you just got to stay on top of your game, like constantly be learning, and just try to be light about everything that comes your way, the critiques and stuff. It's really difficult, especially when you're switching different airframes or new careers or new jobs in aviation or what have you, when you get those initial first critiques, because, you know, you might not have had your best day flying with that person, right? So it's just like, you got to be light about it. Okay, next one's going to be fantastic. Don't let it affect the rest of your performance. And that's kind of day to day too. If somebody says, you know, a stupid little comment about you that's not, you know, maybe a little sexist and stuff, brush it off. It's going to be great with the next person that you interact with.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about advice for me?
Don't be a dummy. No, I was kidding.
Well, and that's it right there.
And there it is.
There it is.
No, I just do what you do already. Like, you're just killing it. That's, again, great student. You're studying. You're excited to be there. Just don't get burnt out. That's a big thing, you know, because even I had moments. I was a terrible student. I was, oh my God, so macho. I thought that I should have been soloed at 2 hours instead of like 10.
It's like,
you know?
Why am I taking so long to get my solo?
My poor first instructor, she was probably like, this chick, Jesus Christ. You know,
this ego on this chick right here.
Like, just take it down a couple pegs. But I was just very cocky because I had been flying for so long at that point, right? So as long as you don't let stuff get complacent, you're going to be great, you know, but eventually you're going to get to that point, because I had that too. Even after I got knocked down a couple pegs, later on, I was like, this guy over here, I've got more experience than you. You know, you're going to tell me what to do. But then they're like flipping open the textbook that I haven't viewed in like years.
And then you're over there like, maybe I should do that too. Over here. I didn't mean to judge you, but right? It's like, oh, he uses the checklist.
Checklist? What are those?
What are those?
What are those? But yeah, just staying open-minded. I think you're going to kill it. Like, honestly, excellent pilot. I think some students need a little bit more work than others. You know, if they truly want to do this as a career and you can see the passion, you're like, great, you can fly. Like, you can learn how to do it. The technical knowledge might take a little bit more, but if you've got the drive for it, you're free and clear. But then you've got people like you who have a very natural talent and pick it up super quickly. And it's like, fantastic. You don't really have to do a whole lot as long as you stay motivated.
You hear that, guys? She said I'm talented.
Yeah. Don't let it go to his head.
Oh, and the ego is starting to build up.
The headset's going to like explode off your head.
Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. So
that's fair. I'm super busy.
You. I know you are busy. You're about to kill it in like a week. In a week, it'll be different from now, too.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to be calling you back for an extension on this podcast. I'll be crying.
Yeah,
don't do it.
Like, look, don't do it.
Don't do it.
I regret it. But yeah, no, thank you very much for coming out. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. Bailey Hill, everyone.
Thank you.